Now here's something that just cracked me up. Now see, this is a pop-up valve right here, and you control it by this handle, pull it up on it, and it goes down. Looks just like this one here. Why am I showing you this? What do you see one down there? It's gone. It had unscrewed, this little pop-up top had unscrewed, and I'll bet you that was laying here like this. Somebody tried to screw it back on. They couldn't get it, couldn't get it, couldn't get it, couldn't get it. Why? Because these are reversible threads, and I'll bet you they thought it was stripped off of there, and they chucked this, and they thought, how important could this be? They'll just have to get another one, just go down to the store. Well, it's not that easy. I'm showing you this one here because I took it out of the other room. There's 2 bathrooms in here, and it screws on reversible, like you're loosening it, and it's tightening. And I'm glad I took that one off too. There's a little ring here, and it's missing the rubber little O-ring on there. So I know I need to get an O-ring on that. And this here, I've got to get this whole top. And I went to the store. Actually, I didn't go to the store. I looked on here, and sometimes they'll have the name of it. Now this one here is American Standard, and I wanted an anodized bronze top because everything is anodized bronze. That's what this color is called. And I wanted everything to match. I mean, yeah, I could go down to the store and get a silver one and put that in there. Then it doesn't match anything. So here's another tip for you. Anytime something like that happens, always try to get matching items. Now, I went to a wholesale house. I even drove an hour from here to a wholesale house. I took this with me, and he was going to look it up. He even called his rep for American Standard. It took him 3 days to locate this. Oh, we can't get that anymore. The bad news is you can't just order this. The good news is you can order the whole assembly, the drain assembly, and it comes with your pop-up, and it comes with this. Well, guess how much that costs? $100. More than $100. And because the last person in here misplaced it, threw it away, whatever, the insurance company is going to cover that. And so that's another thing the insurance company is going to do. Now, speaking of which, if you ever have something loose like that came off, look underneath your cabinet or around the edges, because sometimes, like, see, this cabinet here has a ledge underneath it, and you look under there, you might be able to find what you're looking for. You look underneath the kitchen sink, or inside the medicine cabinet, or in another cabinet like this, or underneath the cabinet. You know, down underneath there, somewhere, maybe they kicked it, or down where the jalousie windows are. You almost have to be like a private investigator. Like, okay, where could it be? Where could it be before I have to order one? Maybe save yourself $100, you know? So I'm gonna get that. Now what else happened here? Look at this. See that? There's no pop-up valve there. And I wanted to show you that really quick. I went all around. I went to 5 different stores, spent a day and a half trying to find a pop-up valve that looked just like this one here. Now this one came out of that sink that I just showed you. Now how come I had to get another pop-up valve? Well, you see this one here? This one here had the screw top that came off it, and somebody ended up trying to screw it on there, and they couldn't, and they probably threw it away. And needless to say, lots of these are reversible threads. So they probably tried to screw it on there, thought the threads were stripped because it's plastic, and they threw it away. You think you can just take one of these tops, an American Standard anodized bronze one, you think you can just go to the store and get one of those? Think again. I went to actually 6 different places, and even American Standard, the manufacturer, would not sell me just a pop-up valve or just this. They wanted to charge me for this here and the drain assembly that goes underneath the sink and everything for over $100 just to get the top, so I can screw a new top on there. You think you can go to the store and just get a different top that matches this same size in silver or gold with the same types of threads to screw on there? No, you can't. Now see, I found something here, and this was about $8 or $9, and it's gold. They didn't have any anodized bronze one, and you cannot unscrew this. And see, this one is called a universal one. Let me set this up we're going to talk about this just really quick. Here, this is called a universal one. And see, we pull this off of here. Let's just take a look at this and see if it matches up. You see where the slot is right there? You can hold this up there like that. And notice that this slot here is going to match up pretty close to that one. And see, if it was longer, you'd use this one here. Well, there's a little groove right in there, and you can pinch that off and snap that bottom part off, and that's what I'm going to do. But see, this top is just a hair bigger than this. If I were to line these up exactly the same, it's not. This one's just a hair bigger. I went to the store, I even found one a little bit smaller than this one here that matched that and had a silver top on it, but it wouldn't work because this body right here, instead of being lined up there, it was up about like that, and it only had a piece, didn't have this bottom piece, it had this piece from here up, and it was too short and it wouldn't fit. If you're trying to find a new pop-up valve like this is what I call a pop-up valve, you're gonna have to take the whole thing to the store because there's 3 or 4 different sizes like this. The tops are different and all that. So I'm gonna hope that this fits. There's even a built-in little washer goodie here, and I'm hoping that this is gonna fit down in there. Yeah, it's not the same, and I'm not too happy about that because I always like to match everything up, you know. And even this one here, see, I don't know if you can see it or not, there's a little rubber O-ring that was missing in this one. I went to the store and got one to fit that. That way when you pull that down, it's gonna hold your water. So if you ever have a problem with that, and if your water's not holding, see if you've got a little O-ring that's missing or that's all mashed up, take that to the store and try to match it up. Or if you have to replace it, like see this one here, there's a little rubber goodie in here already. So I'm curious if that's gonna fit in the hole. Let's just check that out, shall we? I'm going to take that back. See, I'm not going to take it to this one because this one here, before I take it all apart, I have to undo it underneath the sink to get this out because it's all fit in the little ball and socket is fit into here. Now this one here that I took out of the other sink, I'm going to go back to the other sink, hightail it over here. Now this one here that I took out of the other sink, I'm going to go back to the other sink, hightail it over here. This one, for some reason, popped out of there and it wasn't hooked up properly. So I'm going to have to get down underneath the sink and do it right because I don't like it when it's not hooked up properly. You know? If it's not hooked up, you see this? Here's the one that used to be in there. And you can hold it down there and pull this like that and have it go down. But it may not want to hold the water because it's not hooked up, and you can pull it out like that. Now if yours does that, that means your little hole is not lined up properly, and then you have to go in from underneath. Okay, but before we do that, I'm curious to see if this one is going to actually fit in the hole. And you know what? I'm going to have to cut it. I still have to pull it down there. And see, it's not gonna fit. It's not gonna fit anyways. You see how this one here, when it goes down, you see how it fits flush in there nicely? I know, even if I were to cut this off or take it all apart, this one is just a hair bigger than that. So if I had to use this one and cut it off and everything, it might still work. But this is going to set up above this. It's not going to be 100% right. Will it work in a pinch? Yes. It will in a pinch, and I may have to cut it and make it work. And because the rubber gasket is there, when I pull it down, when I have the sink handle here, you know, right here, pulling it up and down, that controls this, okay? When I pull that down, when it goes down in the sink, after I cut this end off and then take it apart, fish this down in there, this is going to set up above this edge, but it might still seal because there's a rubber there, and I could make that work. All right, I'm not too happy about it, and the insurance is going to cover it. So you know what I'm going to do probably next week? Guess what? I'm going to the store. I have to go to a wholesale house because most hardware stores don't have American Standard or they can't order it for you, okay? So I'm gonna have to go to a wholesale plumbing house that carries American Standard products, and I'm gonna order the whole assembly because I want this very same one to fit down in here. Okay, granted, this one here can fit in there, or I can unscrew this. What I do is unscrew this here, and it's reversible threads, remember? Okay, so I'm gonna take that, because I have to pull that one all apart, I'm gonna come back to that later, right? Off we go into the wild blue yonder. Over, I'm gonna come back to that later, right? Off we go into the wild blue yonder. Over here, I'm gonna take this right here, the one that they were missing, that they threw away because they didn't really care about Joe, and having Joe having to run all over Tarnation. Yes, that's what I said. I said Tarnation. That's where I had to go. Okay, so I'm gonna fix this one right now. If yours ever comes out, and if you try to screw it on and screw it on, it's not going, try the opposite direction. See, like I'm unscrewing it, but it's tightening right on. And there it is. I'm just gonna keep doing it, and I've got it tight. You don't wanna overdo it. You know, you could take a pair of pliers and tighten that just a hair more, but you don't want to go too far because this is just plastic underneath there. Look at that. I've got that one fixed by Joe. And it's holding water too because I got the little O-ring, and lots of times some of the hardware stores don't have that O-ring. I had to go to 3 different hardware stores to find that O-ring. So I've got lots of time and energy invested on trying to get the other pop-up. Okay, it's going. You know, that could pop up higher. Sometimes you can get these to pop up higher by adjusting from down below, and I think I'm going to end up doing that. But I had one crack me up. I had one that would only go up about this high when you had this pushed down all the way, and the person thought the sink was plugged up. And I found out what was going on there, and I was able to fix it to where this popped up. It actually popped up higher, and voila, 7 years, or no, 12 years later, it works like a charm. It wasn't clogged or anything. It just needed, the pop-up needed to be lifted up higher. So this one here is working okay, but it's slightly questionable. See, if I push it hard, it pops up high, okay? Most people maybe aren't going to push it like that. They're just going to push it regular, and it takes a while for it to go down, and I might adjust that. Okay, it's borderline. All right, so there you go. One more thing off my list. A few strategic bends on the bracket down there. And look how high I got it able to pop up. That's what you want. Because remember before, as I popped this up, it was only going up about that far. Then it just takes the water that much longer. You might think your drain is clogged up when in fact, you just need to adjust the pop-up valve underneath the sink. There you go. Well, that's all I got time for, but I'll be back with more videos.